welcome everybody to the first OpenFGA community meeting of 2024. And we started this, I think, it was like a May, I think, last year. So we are still not a year from having the community meetings, but we have a lot of plans and hopes for this year. So hope we can navigate together through everything great that's gonna bring to all of us. So first, we usually do some introductions at the beginning. We introduce ourselves first, but we are a lot, so we should have some slide when we share who we are. This is part of the team, and with the flags from where they live or where they were born or where they identify with. And then we have a new group that started in January, so a few days ago, and some of them are here. So welcome everyone to the team. And we are gonna go to Toronto next week, so the whole team is gonna be there. It's gonna be fun. If any of you wants to spend some time in Toronto, it's a very nice time of the year to be in Toronto, as you can see in that picture. And I'm based right now. I'm in South America, which is summer, right? And I'm gonna spend a week in winter. So hopefully everyone appreciates the effort I'm making. And so I see a few new faces. If someone that is not part of our team wants to introduce themselves, now is the moment. You can unmute and just say your name, what you're doing, what you're working for, and how you're using OpenFGA. That will be awesome. If you don't want to speak, you can just write something in the chat. That also works. So I would stop talking and give some space for someone to present themselves.
Everyone is being shy, so happy to go first. Massimiliano Gori, I'm the lead product manager for enterprise engineering at Canonical. That basically means everything that has to do with infrastructure and managed applications. That includes identity management, which is my background. And I'm also joined by Alessandro, that is the senior engineer leading the identity team.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was trying to find the button. I'm really terrible with technology. As Massi said, I work at Canonical as well. Identity team, we are picking up OpenFGA, trying to use it across our products, and we are the team in charge of like shape it so that everybody else can use it properly. So yeah, I'm based in the UK, London. I'm Italian, as you might tell. And sorry, as I said, I'm terrible at using technology, so that's why my name is not my name. That's it.
And just to answer the final question, we are planning to adopt OpenFGA kind of like across our suite of first-party applications, as well as the authorization layer for some of the cloud services, and basically the entitlements for our paid offering, Ubuntu Pro.
Awesome. And we are very excited about that partnership with you, Masi. So yeah, hope to. That's going to happen this year, so that's awesome. Anyone else who's not from Canonical?
Hi, I'm Pauline. I'm in France. I work at Agicap, a company doing cash flow management. And we are using OpenFGA in production. And for now, it's going very well.
Awesome.
Hello, my name is Eugene. I'm based in Berlin and work at join.com. I'm a software engineer, and we are considering to start using OpenFGA, so that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Welcome to the community. And I think there's anything. Mohan, you want to? I think I've seen you, Mohan and Jacob. I think I've seen you in other meetings, but maybe you still want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Mohan. So I'm a software engineer. I work for an asset management company. So we recently gone to production with OpenFGA. Yeah, it's working great so far. Thank you.
Awesome. Great to hear that. Okay, so Jacob, if you want to introduce yourself, you have like 30 seconds, and if not, you can do it in the chat. It's completely fine. Okay, good. So things we shipped in the last meeting, we have a week where we took off during Christmas, the vacation, and but we still managed to do a few things. We're gonna demo a few of them. On the OpenFGA side, we shipped a version with just bug fixes and perf improvements, so no new features there. But yeah, you should update because it's gonna be slightly faster. We completed our SDKs with support for conditional relationships. That's a feature that we shipped like a couple of months ago on OpenFGA that lets you add more kind of AWAC-like features in the authorization model. And it's pretty cool. So if you haven't looked at that, please do. The way we supported comments in the DSL was pretty crappy in the past. Now we fixed that, and you can add comments anywhere you could want. And we were working on VS Code to improve our experience there. We're gonna have a demo for that, so I'm not gonna spoil it. Same thing with CLI improvements and GitHub Actions. We also added some examples in this case and a few breaking changes that we are gonna comment now. So now all the SDKs, but I think JavaScript will have a nice example explaining how you use the SDK. For Java, we even have a Kotlin one. We might have other flavors of JVMs in the future, but basically it is something like this. It's just in this case a method that just calls all the API endpoints and outputs what is the result of those things. Right? Nothing very fancy, but useful. And then on the breaking changes thing aside, when we built this feature for conditions, we changed our protobuf contracts in our Go server, and the way our SDKs are built end up being based on those. And so we decided to change the contract in some of the methods for the SDK. So if we are upgrading to the latest versions, you might need to tweak some, rename some things to adopt the new SDKs. Should be very easy to do, but still, you will need to do that. And of course, we suggest you to always update to the latest version of everything because life is better if you do that. So let's get into some demos. First, I'm gonna ask Daniel to share the cool things he's been doing on the VS Code. Last time, I think he demoed an iteration of this on his own machine, but now this is released, so you can try it in your own machine if you want.
Cool. I'll go ahead and open up VS Code. Excuse my voice, it's a little shaky. So what I've been dedicating most of the time towards has been two things. One, not that exciting, but we've done a lot of corrections to the syntax highlighting of models, just so they're easier to read. We're getting quite complex with the nature of the model, and wanted to make sure that it was easily readable and accessible and separable and all that lovely stuff that comes with VS Code integrations. But what I really wanted to show was our store validation for tuples. So here you've got your quite a heavy conditional model.
And that's it. We're done. Okay, maybe I can take a bit while Daniel is well, Daniel come back. So what Daniel did is we fixed a bunch of the syntax highlighting. When we introduced conditions, we did conditions, but a lot of the syntax like with caused a lot of things to be highlighted incorrectly. Now, as you can see, it's better, hopefully. Oh, and Daniel's out, so.
Okay, maybe what we can do is we can skip to the next demo, and when Daniel comes back, we can have him. So next one will be our CLI improvements. And I think Ewan was going to do that.
Yep, that's me.
Yep.
So I'll
Perfect.
share my screen. Make sure I got the right one. So you should be able to see VS Code now or shortly. So
can you zoom it a little or increase the font or whatever? So
yeah, let me make it. Is that better?
yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go over a variety of different things that we've added within the CLI. So these, I believe, should be all shipped now. The last one I think is just shipped. So firstly, we've added a tuple file, kind of similar to the model file. It allows you to store your tuples outside of your store file. This can also be used on an individual test. So you could potentially like share tuples between tests. Syntactically, it's pretty much as you'd expect. You would just kind of take your tuples that you've defined and drop them into a YAML file. You can have multiple if you want. I just don't have multiple in my sample for some reason. And then they'll get passed and read in on commands like model test. Whoops, helps if you have a valid file, sorry. So yeah, they'll get passed in and used as expected. Next one, we're adding the FGA store import. The resize messed me up there. Store import. So you can take a file, a store file, and import that into your FGA server. So that's pretty much it. It'll add it in. And then if I go to my playground, no, you can't see my playground because I'm in sharing VS Code. You'll have to trust me. In my playground, my thing is now there. I think if I list, yeah, cool. There we go. You can see folder box is now in there also, alongside the one that I already had. That was added by Puvam on the team, one of the new hires alongside myself. We also added support for writing tuples from a CSV file. This was added by Sergio. So you can see here I have a tuple inside a CSV file. These are shown on the help menu currently. They're hard-coded. They're not, this is what we expect them to be. There was discussion potentially around opening this up in future. So let us know if that might be useful. So I will write my tuple from CSV. And you can see it's read in the condition, the kind of relation in the user successfully, and pass that along. Next up, kind of similarly, themes. We've added support for condition and context on the CLI commands. So you can see here, writing a tuple using the CLI, and I'm passing my -- condition name and my condition context. So this is also now documented, I believe, in the documentation. So when you read the kind of condition docs, the CLI samples will have this kind of pre-populated, so you can discover how to use it. That is supported on the tuple write command, the query check command, where you pass in a -- context to provide some context, and also the list objects command. Same again, similar to the check, you pass in your context like that. And then finally, on the tuple changes, we've added support for, we now show the continuation token that is returned from the API. And then you can going to copy paste, because I will obviously make an error typing that. You can take that continuation token and pass it along on the CLI. You can see I've got no changes currently. If I go over to my playground and I delete some things, you'll now see I've got some changes because I just deleted my 2 tuples. And yeah, that's the summary, I think, of the CLI changes. It should now be out as version 0.2.3. And yeah, everything that I've just showed is in that release. So that's it. I'll hand it back to you, Andres.
Very nice. Thank you, Ewan. The import CSV features were inspired by some requests that a friend of Pauline did. And so thank you for that feedback. And we have some ideas how to make it better based on that feedback too. So thanks. And now Daniel seems to be back. So we are going to give the Visual Studio Code thing a second chance.
My apologies. I was talking for quite a while before I realized I actually dropped out. So I'll just reiterate. Let's have a look at VS Code. There we go. Okay. Hopefully everyone should be able to see my screen. So we introduced, I'll repeat myself, we introduced new fixes for a lot of some of the more meticulous syntax typing, just to make it easier on everybody's eyes, make it distinguishable and accessible. But the real work that went into this, I guess, over this last month, is validation of stores. So not only do you get validation in the model, let me shrink my screen a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Say if you fat finger the definition of the type user, if you go down through your tuples, you'll see that you'll get a series of warnings about how that type no longer exists. That's just pretty basic type validation. This works with your relationships. Like so we see the ones we've defined. If they're removed, they no longer exist and throw an error. And the validation continues all the way into the tuples. So we've got format validation. If you declare something that's in the wrong format, it'll error out for you. If you declare a type that doesn't exist, it'll let you know that it doesn't exist and present you with alternatives. And this goes on for all the fields, everything is really well validated, moving from tuples into the checks. Sorry for skirting around. So what's cool is if you've defined a tuple, and you again fat finger it, you'll find that tuples that you've referenced, in this case the user uint, you'll get a little warning that tells you that it doesn't match any of the defined tuples, and you should like, even though this is valid, here's a warning to let you know that you may have mistyped something. This works for all the users and objects, and it goes on. The validation, I think at this point, is pretty encompassing of what you can define, and paves the way for doing autocompletes, which is on our roadmap. If we want to have a look at just a big fat finger, what do we got? Advanced member. So say we had user Ann defined in the tuples. We accidentally break that, you're going to get a warning, or for every time user Ann has been referenced. Sorry for being a bit over the place. I don't know how much we got from the start, but if there's any questions, let me know. It's yeah, that's the work I've been working on. I'll relinquish my screen back.
Perfect. So if anyone has any feedback or questions, please feel free to chime in. In general, the goal here is to make it as simple as possible to create your models using VS Code and to make less mistakes or whatever. We know that when people start using the product, creating the right model sometimes can be challenging because it's a new language and new concepts. So the idea there is to kind of help you as much as you can while you do that. The main if it doesn't work for that goal, and the main user for the features Daniel builds in VS Code is myself, because I keep like demoing the product and making mistakes when entering the data. So at least right now, instead of having someone from the audience telling me you did enter the wrong thing up there, right? Visual Studio Code will tell me. This is a true story, by the way. So it happened to me that Jonathan had to tell me, yeah, you did something wrong, something well, and hopefully now Daniel's work can notify me from those. Great. I think we have something else, and which is some work we did with GitHub Actions.
Yeah. Hi. Let me share my screen. So hello all. I'm Pua, new to the FGA team. So in the past week, we have created 2 new GitHub Actions. One is to deploy your model into your server. And basically, it gets your API URL, token, and store ID. You can pass in a model file or a model string itself and provide the format. We'll deploy it for you. In the future, we'll be adding more options like stores. You can import from a store and probably even tuples. But yeah, this is the first version of GitHub Action deploy. Next one is GitHub Action for testing. To test your model, all you have to provide is your store file, and we will test whether your model is right. And the good thing is now it's part of your CI and CD. You can validate your models and you can deploy it right from your GitHub tool. Let me show you a small demo. Probably first I can deploy something. So right now it's triggered manually, but you can have it at your pull request. Once something is merged into your master branch, it can be deployed automatically. So here it is. So I'm starting an OpenFGA server in which I can deploy stuff. And yeah, basically it's deployed now. Here you can see we've deployed this model into the server. Another thing that's interesting is testing. So let me show you a test that fails. So probably someone is merging a model that wouldn't work in your test case. You can just run it in your PR. And yeah, let's wait. So the test failed. And we also show which particular test failed. You can see that user and can view the expected value was false, but we returned true. So yeah, that's GitHub Actions. Basically, we've tried to make your CI/CD pipeline a little bit easier using our tools. So yeah, that's GitHub Actions. Let me give it back to Andres.
Nice, thank you. So as you've seen, we did a lot of kind of small improvements here and there. And given we had a lot of new people in the team, this was more an opportunity to kind of onboard them to the product and to take the opportunity to do small improvements here and there that were in a roadmap. So that's basically the output of the last week of work, all of these small improvements. Okay, so we're still iterating a little on our plans for next year and when we're going to build. And this is the current state of a roadmap. You can see it there in GitHub. So just to give you a little more detail, this first one we have is about, we added support for adding like a nested conditions with parentheses in relationships. So you can say like a relation A or B parentheses and the parentheses, things like that. And that weren't possible earlier. And now it's supported in the playground, but it's not supported in the CLI. So if you write a model there, it wouldn't work with those conditions. So we are working on wrapping that up. That shouldn't be a lot of work. We started working on a feature we call modular authorization models. We are going through the RFC process right now. Going to talk about that in the next slide with more details. And then we are wrapping up the tuple validation. That is what Daniel showed. I think we are done with that already. So probably move to done. And next, we're going to work on try to help customers that have multiple clients or accessing the FGA service with different permissions. So like a specific clients could, for example, create tuples in specific stores and or for specific types, right? So we want to add more features in the product to enable those scenarios. Working on a feature called ListUsers. I'm going to also talk about that later because we have an RFC. We have a DynamoDB storage adapter that we use in the hosted product of OpenFGA, which we're going to open source. That's going to happen relatively soon. And then on the tooling side, we are working on an IDE integration with the JetBrains family of IDEs, like IntelliJ, Golang, or those kind of things. We don't know how far we're going to get in terms of the set of features we have for VS Code, but at least we're going to have syntax coloring, and hopefully we can also have validation. And the other thing that Daniel mentioned is that we're going to keep improving the VS Code with autocomplete. So when you type like a user, and you get the list of users that you can actually enter in a test, that will also help writing tests faster. And then we're going to work on an SDK for Spring Boot to make it easier to integrate with Spring Boot application. That is what's going to happen in the next couple of months, basically based on the current plans. Any questions or comments about the demos or these ideas in the roadmap? We're going to talk now about list users and modular authorization models. Okay, so there's an RFC that is at the have a PR for that about this topic. We've been getting some feedback from you, which is great. And if the scenario here is if you are working on a product that has multiple teams or has multiple modules, and you want each team to own your own piece of the authorization model, right? For example, let's assume you are Atlassian and you're building Confluence and Jira, right? You want the Jira team to own that part of the model, and also you want them to own writing tuples to the types in those models. Like you don't want the Jira app to delete a space, okay, from the Confluence tuple from a space, right? So the idea is to let you modularize the model. This is a possible way of doing it, but we have other alternatives there. And then later let you add permissions on which application have access or specific permissions to each specific module. I don't know if any of you had a chance to look at the RFC and have any feedback. That would be awesome to hear. But if not, please take a look at that. The main use case we still haven't figured out if we want to build or not is this feature here. We say extend type core organization. The scenario there is that you're building Jira. You're going to have a permission that you want to grant to admins that could be who can create a project in Jira. And that might live in a single admin UI for all Atlassian products. And you want then the client ID of that application, which may be the core application, to be able to, we need to decide if you want the core application to be able to write this tuple, like an admin can create a project, or it will be something that the Jira application will add, right? So depending on that is who will want to manage that relationship, right? And so we've been discussing that in the PR. So if you have any comments or feedback about that, it will be great too. So hopefully we can start working on this in a couple of weeks. So we are going to kind of evaluate the feedback and make a decision about these things soon. And then the other one is today we have there's a feature we want to build. We have our RFC for that, which is called ListUsers. Basically, it lists all the users that have a specific relationship with specific resource. In this case, all the users that can view a specific document. This today is possible to build with using the expand API, but it's kind of difficult. I've seen there's a wrapper or wrapper SDK that I saw in the canonical GitHub repository organization that is a wrapper on the OpenFGA SDK that has their own implementation of this feature using this expand API. And so I don't know if any of if Masi or Alessandro are actually part of the team who's building that library, but maybe it's something that eventually they might want to adjust to use this new API because it will work better, right? But yeah, that's something we saw people using. Yeah, I've seen like you saying no, so probably another team in Canonical.
Yeah, I mean, we will circulate both the last two ones, because even the first one is useful not for the first party applications, but for the for our like entitlement service. So I'll make sure to circulate them both.
Sounds great. And we have something there we are discussing, which is there's a feature in OpenFGA that enables to say any user can view a document, right? So, and in that case, the conversation there was, okay, if you want to list all the users that can view a document, should we list all the users, or should we let you know that, yeah, the wildcard user can actually view it, right? So we are leaning to the second option because listing all the users might not even be feasible. Okay, so there may be users that are actually not defined in FGA that could actually end up accessing the user. But that's something that is also being discussed in the RFC. So if you have any comments or feedback about that specific functionality, let us know. Even if you have use cases where you want to be able to use these features, it will be great because it will help us understand better how the features are going to be used. So perfect, that's that. There's some community news. So we're going to be sharing a presentation with Pauline and on one of the co-located events in KubeCon France next March. So we presented we co-submitted with her, and we got accepted, which is pretty cool. So you're gonna see me in Paris in March. And then I actually have some content here from Canonical, but so there's been a lot of people posting things about OpenFGA in the community. So the slide deck here, the link to the slide deck is in meeting notes. You can access in the invite, so you can get to the slide and follow the links, or just Google them. But there's a lot of activity there, which is pretty cool. And this last one is Massey shared that with me a couple of days ago, and explains how we want to splines to integrate an OpenFGA with LXD. And there's a lot of interesting information here of how they're planning to do it and the features they want to use, how they want to build it. So for everyone that is in the OpenFGA community, it might be pretty interesting to take a look at that, because there's a lot of cool things there. So thanks for sharing that, Masi. And I think that's pretty much it. So if you have any comment or question, that will be a good time for for asking or sharing, or any story about OpenFGA or anything you might want to mention. Great. So for any OpenFGA adopter, maybe this is for you, Mohan, and for Pauline, but I think she left. Is that we have in the OpenFGA repository community site where has a list of the companies adopting the product, and so if you can at some moment add your companies there, it will be very helpful. Sometimes that's not easy because your employer doesn't want you to add it, but if you can, that will be very helpful, because yeah, we know there are way more customers than this using OpenFGA, but we can only publicly brag about that for the ones that are in this list. So thank you in advance for evaluating it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there will be some permission related discussion, so I need to have it. That's why I was being quiet as well. But yeah, everyone loves it though, so there shouldn't be any reason why not. Thanks.
Awesome.
I'll take a look.
Thank you very much. Okay, so if nobody else has anything else to say, thank you for being here, and we'll see each other in a month. Okay,
thank you.